Hello and welcome back to the Graceful Tangle YouTube channel. I'm Amy Kate. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am currently working on a blanket using Faux Fur yarn, and I have been sharing this project over on my Instagram platform and with my community over there, and I've gotten so many questions on just how I work with Faux Fur, what my thoughts are, if I enjoy it, how I see my stitches, or if I just work around them. Lots and lots of questions, and so I thought it would be nice to create a video with my top 3 tips on working with Faux Fur yarn. Overall, this can be a very challenging yarn to work with, but I absolutely love it, and the product to me, or the finished result, is so worth it if it's a little bit challenging to make, because it is the squishiest, coziest thing on the planet, and I personally cannot wait to finish this blanket so that I can cozy up under it. It is going to be amazing. I am also going to be kind of referencing all of these tips from a crocheter's point of view. I am crocheting this blanket. If I were given the option, I would choose to crochet with this yarn rather than knit with it. And so that's typically what I always do. And so I don't, like, I haven't knit with it, so I don't have those tips to share. I imagine a few of them would translate, like, you know, use large needles and a loose gauge and just the knit stitch, stuff like that. But, I am crocheting this blanket. That is what I have done in the past with yarn like this, so that's where these tips are going to be rooted in today. So let's go ahead, hop over to my desk. I'm going to kind of walk you through a few tips, a few things that I keep in mind, and then talk a little bit about this exact yarn itself. Alrighty, this is the Faux Fur yarn that I am using for this particular blanket project, and the yarn that I'm going to be using in today's video. This is from Hobbii. It's their Peacock yarn, which is a 100% polyester bulky weight 5 yarn. They recommend a 6mm knitting needle or 7mm crochet hook. And I'll talk more about that in a second. But this is yarn that I'm using. Like I said, there are many other Faux Fur yarns out there. I think the only other one that I have used is We Crochet Fable Fur. So I will link that one down below as well. I also absolutely love it. If I'm comparing the two, like, side by side, I would say that the We Crochet Fable Fur is a little bit softer than, or maybe like a little bit more slick than this yarn. But this is super squishy and cozy as well. So they're kind of just, they're similar but different, I guess, is kind of the best way that I have to describe them right now. So tip number 1 for crocheting with a Faux Fur yarn is to use a large hook. This is my favorite hook. This is a 12mm clover hook. In particular, I absolutely love the clover hooks. They are my favorite hooks of all time, hands down, for sure. Took me a few, like, I just got a set this year, but I absolutely love them and could not recommend them more. But in particular, the larger sizes are plastic and they're super slick. This is my favorite head, just as a personal preference. I know that it varies for all crocheters, but for me, I love this head, so it works great for me. I also love that it has this extra grip on the end. It's just super lightweight, a lot of comfort. And this hook just kind of makes it so much easier to use a larger size, in my opinion. Sometimes, and for knitting needles too, if you use larger sizes, they can be a little bit less comfortable to use just based on the weight or the circumference of the tool. But I really love this hook. So this is the hook that I've been using for this project. And for any Faux Fur project, I would recommend using a hook size larger than what you would expect. So, I mean, like I said, this yarn recommends like a 7mm crochet hook, which is kind of crazy to me, honestly. But I would definitely recommend using a 12mm. I don't think I would go higher than that, but I also wouldn't go lower. I really love my gauge with this hook, so that's definitely what I plan to use moving forward. So large hook, that is tip number 1. Second tip is to choose a stitch that is simple, that you enjoy doing, and that is basic. So I am using the half double crochet stitch, definitely the one that I recommend. If you wanted to do single crochet, I think that would work, but that's going to be harder to work through the stitches. I think double crochet would also work, and that's basically what I would go in between, either half double or double crochet. For me, I love half double. It's a thicker stitch, a little more sturdy. It's going to have less like holes, if you will, in the fabric, but it's still going to be really easy to do and simple to do for a long period of time. which is why I love it. So I would recommend using the half double crochet stitch. I would also recommend making something simple like a blanket or a pillow, or just something that doesn't have a lot of shape to it, like a cowl, a scarf, stuff along those lines. Just because you don't need to bank on being able to see stitches in this yarn. And so if you're making like a big square or a big rectangle, you're much more likely to be successful, rather than if you were trying to make like a triangle, for example, something that has a lot of increases. It's just really hard to keep up with that. And then my last tip, and definitely the biggest one, this is the one that I have been doing for this project, I work in between my stitches. So as you can see, I'm in the middle of a row right now, and you literally can't see my stitches. I have no idea where they are, but if I use my fingers, I can feel them. So I have already worked in this space. This is in between two stitches right now. If I put my finger below it, I can see that this is a space in between two half double crochet stitches, and that's where I placed my hook. So next I'm going to work in this space. I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into that space, pull up a loop, and finish my half double crochet. And that's what I'm going to do all the way down. I like to use my middle finger to kind of feel in between those stitches and then place my hook in there. And for me, this works. It's not too difficult. I can go fast. I can pick up a speed with it, but I can also go slow. You also might find it helpful to count your stitches as you're going to make sure that you have the same number every row. I don't do that. Like every maybe 5 rows or so, I will count just to make sure I'm not off, or at least glance at it. But for the most part, this technique works so well. You can see that I'm still working in between stitches. Again, I'm just placing my hook in between them, and I'm not working in the actual V-stitches like we typically would. And to me, it makes it so much easier. It works so well. And then if I get to the end of the row here, I'm actually going to run out of yarn here in a second. I'm almost done with this ball. But if I get to the end of this row, I can show you that on the very last stitch, we'll work in between the stitch and that chain 1 space. Okay, so here's my second to last stitch. And then if you feel with your fingers, you can feel that last half double crochet stitch, but then also this chain 1. And I just work in between that. And that's where I place, yep, see, there's the end of my ball. That's where I place my stitch for the last row. So that's how I crochet with it. You might find that a different method works for you, and that is totally okay. But like I said, I've gotten a lot of questions, so I wanted to create this video to kind of guide you guys along with the process, give you a few tips. Last thing that I want to be sure to mention is just give yourself grace. Because you can't see the individual stitches with this yarn, you also cannot see your mistakes. So if you happen to skip a stitch, or if you happen to place an increase where you didn't mean to, it's totally okay. Choose a project that is forgiving, like a blanket or a scarf, and just have fun with this yarn. I also got a comment from somebody recently on something that washed this project and had it like fall apart. So I would not recommend that. I do not plan to wash this blanket. I just plan to, use it, cozy up with it, enjoy it, of course, but I don't really plan on washing. Maybe that's not the best sanitary plan, but I definitely don't want it to fall apart. So anyways, I absolutely love this yarn. I love working with it. I hope these tips kind of encourage you to try it out. But also, we do not all like the same things. You do not have to like this yarn, and that's totally okay as well. So I hope these tips were helpful for you, and I hope that you enjoy this yarn. I hope this video was helpful for you. I hope that you found these tips kind of enjoyable to watch and listen to, but that you would also able to kind of keep them in mind as you work with Faux Fur yarn. I absolutely love this yarn. I love working with it, but I know that that can be an unpopular opinion. So hopefully this video was helpful and kind of guides you in the right direction in terms of if you want to try to crochet with this yarn again, if you've had an unfortunate past with it, or if you want to try it out for the first time. I will link the exact yarn that I am using throughout today's video in the description box below, but I will also link a few other faux fur options that I also enjoy from other companies as well. So thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let me know if you'd like some more videos like this. It was so fun to create, and like I said, I really hope that it is a helpful resource for you moving forward. Again, thank you so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe to the channel. Until next time, happy making. Bye.